Hello, I'm Robert and welcome to my channel, where I discuss everything automated algorithmic trading, or simply algo trading. Today is going to be a wonderful day because I get to introduce a new module for Jackrabbit TV, the Optimized Trend Tracker. Now, special thanks goes out to Waffle Stomper for providing this algorithm. And it is a wonderful little algorithm that has the potential for huge amounts of profits. It can be used manually or automatically within the Jackrabbit modules. I'm going to demonstrate both, but mostly focus on the automated. So what we are looking at right now on the chart is the optimized trend tracker, showing exactly how the market is doing. Now, if we look at the market, we can see on the right-hand side of the chart that we had a dip into the red zone, which means if you were looking to do a bit of a short, and you legally can, this is how you would do it manually. You watch for the crossing, and then you watch for the pullback down here. And you get in and get out that quickly. But if you're doing a long position, then you would look at the market the same way. Look for a crossing, and then you could either get out here or follow it all the way up if it's likely to go up and get out higher. So we can see the manual aspect of this works very well. So let's get into the automated aspect where it really shines. Now we have the typical buy and sell markers that we're used to seeing that Jackrabbit TV produces. So it's just a very simple step to plug it into any framework you have. And for the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to keep it very simple with a very simple straight DCA. No other additional indicators, and you are going to be quite surprised at just how well it does. This is a wonderful little strategy. And if we go to the statistics, we can see that this strategy in the last 19 days has done 6 completed trade cycles with an average of 2% per cycle. But that's not really where this strategy shines. Any of the Jackrabbit modules can produce a reliable strategy. Where the optimized trend tracker really shines is when you look at the number of trades. Maximum 4 trades per buy cycle is incredibly good. Most Jackrabbit strategies require more than that on a consistent basis. So by using the optimized trend tracker and tuning it, you can really hone in to a very specific case and situation where you are looking at excellent profits with minimized risk. So let's actually talk about more of these types of settings. This is a 2% take profit with a standard 1.5% deviation. This is the standard practice for your basic trading, and it works in either market, whether it's Forex or crypto. You just need to adjust your percentages on the basis of the market. It does exceptionally well, as we're going to see, because we are going to take a look at other markets as well and see how well it can minimize the maximum number of purchases. So let's bring up the panel and go to various markets. And actually look at how well this does. So for ADA, it did 16 trade cycles. That's wonderful. And its maximum is 7, exceptionally controlled. ADA is a very difficult asset to trade in, and having a maximum of 7 is very good for this asset. And as we can see by scrolling through the chart, it tracks very nicely on how well it manages the deviations and the take profits. You can see that throughout the entire process, it doesn't just buy in unless the opportunity is really very good. And that is the whole point of what the optimized trend tracker does. For automated trading, it really hones in to exactly where the process needs to be to get into the market and out of the market with a reliable and consistent profitability. It does take a little bit of tuning, which is why this actually took me so long to release this strategy, this module. There are so many different possibilities and settings that you can really tune it perfect for a lot of different unusual market circumstances. And this is just using the indicator by itself. If you couple it with MACD, RSI, Bollinger Bands, or any of the other Rabbit modules, you will have a plethora of options available that can really hone in on some very specific situations that capture the market quite beautifully. So let's go back to the statistics and start going through some of these assets and seeing just how well they do. So now we have the USDT version of ADA, and you can see a trade cycle count of 29 with a maximum purchase of 6. But let's keep going. 19 trade cycles, 18 trade cycles, and some of these assets are incredibly difficult. BAT. This is an asset that is a nightmare to deal with. Getting into it is easy, but getting out of it is very difficult. And even as difficult as it is, there are only a maximum of 14 purchases with 6 full completed trade cycles. So it is certainly well worth looking at. I hit the right button here. Let's see what other goodies we can find. Bitcoin Cash has always had a difficult history, but it makes good money with this strategy. Of course, BTC, which we talked about in the beginning. Curve, another difficult coin, but here is one that is a nightmare coin for a lot of people. The insane volatility of this asset is just staggering. And yet, in the time frame listed, 466 days of trading, it has done 119 trade cycles with an average of 2%. That is exceptional for this asset. And only needing 11 maximum purchases is really astounding. This asset is a general nightmare to trade. It's difficult to manage, it's difficult to predict, and the volatility is obscene sometimes. So having that level of control is really wonderful. Dash Deutsch. This seems to be the hot topic lately, and yet it just does wonderful with this process. So by now you should be seeing a pattern of just how well this can work in an accumulation-based situation, even with assets that have a horribly difficult history to work with. Let's go find something that is incredibly difficult. In fact, one of my worst. Where are you, Raven? Okay, it's not on this exchange, but that's okay. We'll find it. Raven. This asset is been my nightmare. Anytime I get near this asset, I've lost money. It's just a difficult strategy all the way around to deal with when it comes to this coin. But even with its volatility and difficulty, with the optimized trend tracker, a maximum number of buy cycles is only 10. That is exceptional. I would actually go back to trading Raven again with this strategy. And if I was to pair it with something like support and resistance, it would be even better. So I cannot understate the importance of taking a look at this and really tuning and toning your numbers. In fact, let's actually get into that. Let's slide this over and let's bring up the settings and talk about a lot of what you will see. So as we can see from the settings right now, I have the look back period at 23 candles, and I have the trending percentage at 2.3. There are a myriad of moving averages that you can switch to either increase or decrease the aggressiveness, and it does have a direct aggressive mode that you can highlight, and it will show you even more aggressive trading patterns. And still, a maximum of 16 positions for this time cycle is incredible. But let's go back to the lesser aggressive, and let's look at how small changes really affect the optimization of the strategy. So even with only a look back of 13, it's only using a maximum of 5 positions. Let's try to bring this to a higher level. Only 5 positions with a look back at 37. Let's go with something more standardized rather than my favorite prime numbers. And as you can see, it still just manages the risk incredibly well. Let's go a little higher. Let's try a look back of 100 candles with a maximum of only 3 positions and 15 trade cycles. Again, perfect example of risk management. Perfect example of negating unnecessary purchases. So let's put this back at 23. And now let's look at the percentage. And yes, you need to play with these numbers to tune them in. It took me months of testing to really learn all of the intricacies that Waffle Stomper put into this algorithm. It is wonderful in terms of just how much you can control it and how much it can be shaped. For example, here we can see a maximum of 11. But if we go up to a higher number, we can see a maximum of 5. Let's go a lower number. We have a maximum of 19. Now remember, we're still talking about Raven and the nightmare that this asset is. For now, I'm going to leave it here to show the higher numbers so I can demonstrate the type of buy modes. There are 3 different kinds of buy modes. Right now I have it on the direction change. So that's when the cloud formations or the shaping of the upper and lower trends actually change directions. But let's go with the average crossing. And we have yet even more tailored functionality. And still a maximum buys per cycle that is very reasonable for Raven. Let's do price crossing. Now this one's a little more aggressive, but it's still very controlled. And then of course back to what we had originally, directional change. Now let's look at the different types. Here are all the various types of moving averages you can pick and play with. Take the time to really look at this, because it is a powerful tool that can really mitigate your risks aggressively. It's a wonderful way to keep your trading consistent. If you have any comments, be sure to leave them below and let me know what you think. Ask questions. Share your thoughts. And really take a look at what this has to offer. Now the link to this indicator is in the Jackrabbit settings area or channel on the Discord support server. Those links will be in the description below. If you're still watching this video at this point, you're in for a treat. This is my Patreon shop, and you'll see I'm offering 2 holdings right now. The Euro USD is a data file of 59 million candles. The Euro GBP is a data file of 50 million candles. And yes, these prices are accurate. But to the patrons and subscribers of my channel, meaning you are registered with either Patreon or GitHub, these files are automatically provided within your subscription. If you come to the shop page and you're logged into Patreon, you won't see the pricing, just the download button. If you're subscribed to GitHub, it's a little more difficult right now, but that will soon be corrected. Simply send me a DM on Discord and I will get these files to you. Remember, these are part of your subscription. So if you're not subscribed and you're watching, you're missing a lot of benefits by not being subscribed. I could do this because of my patrons and their support. Well, patrons and sponsors, because both are critical for the continued development of Jackrabbit. So thank you to both patrons and sponsors alike. You really make this type of stuff possible. Thank you for watching. Please share your thoughts, leave a comment. And until next time,